Alrighty, not sure how much time we have here, uh, and not really sure how much quote film I have left, how much space I have left, but I'm gonna try to make it through this whole trail. So we've got, I would call it a new trail, but there actually is some history here. Long ago, back in the day, I wouldn't say at least the 70s, probably part of the 80s. So way back when, there was a bike trail that went from our park, actually down here, and then came through here. And this was just kind of carved by people who rode bicycles, and BMX was a thing, and it was coming around back then. BMX biking, off-roading, that kind of thing was definitely an era. I would say 20-inch wheels, if I had to guess, were a common thing. So we've got a trail here, and this is part of an old bike trail, but this whole part of the park has been abandoned for a long time. So I'm going to try to make my way through here. Basically what's going to happen is this land is going to get cleared up a little bit. I don't know if it's just going to be a trail or exactly what the outcome will be, but the purpose is to start using this land. You can see it's just 100% wooded. So this trail right here is actually part of the bike trail. There was a property line at this fence here at one time. Let's see what we got going on over here. Oh, okay. So all kinds of just abandoned trees and honeysuckle, and you know, for some period of time people were dumping stuff here like construction supplies, concrete, clay tiles. So I might end up deciding to clean this trail up when it quote becomes a trail. Got enough kind of looking at it. I'm not sure if I can or not, but we'll see. The main thing is, can I get my tractor through here? And I can make that happen, I think. So we're going along this trail here. This, like I said, this was a bike trail at one time, and these are the remnants of that. But basically what's happening is it's kind of taking a diversion up here. So up ahead, and I'm going to say off to the right, but I'm not sure really, there was a trail. This trail went all the way up to Elizabeth Road, and this place was called Alicia Trails, and it was specifically for bikes and I guess hiking, but really as bicyclers on BMX bikes kind of found this land that wasn't really used for anything. It's a public land, and it was just used for that. So this is part of the trail, the old trail, but it's going to be part of the new trail. And it's not going to be anything really big or a really, really big deal, but it is using the land, which is good for something. So we're following. You can see I've pretty well been on a trail that's fairly well defined already. And so this was through here, but needs some cleaning up, and it's being cleaned up right now. So I'm just going to show a quick walk through the trail. And when I first thought about this trail, I thought it would be longer than it is. In fact, we're probably not going to be too much longer before we're at the head of the trail, the other end of the trail. But it's a nice walking trail. So all around me is just completely secluded and wooded. There's a house off to the right. This limb will have to come down, but that's no big deal. So for the most part, it looks like I could definitely get my tractor through here and clean this up. And I most likely will do that eventually. So this is maybe, I don't know how many, I'm gonna have to look at the camera, and after I walk this trail I find out how long it takes, because I don't really know, and I was kind of wondering that myself, how long this trail is. And I'm walking at a moderate pace, nothing too fancy. Probably get barked at by a dog here soon if I make noise. I'm gonna stay a little bit quiet through here. We're reaching the trailhead, actually, not too far away. We have a ton of trees out here that are old growth wood, hardwoods, cherries, oaks, walnuts, all that kind of stuff. So you can see there, some of the wood is being cut and piled up. Whether that becomes mulch or not, who knows, but the end goal was that this would all be mulched and put on the other side of the park, but being honeysuckle, I doubt that anybody's going to take the time to do it. And the fact that it was cut down that small means they're not going to throw it in the chipper. So those piles are probably just going to stay, I guess. Got a little bit of trash up here. I could do that now, but I'm not going to while I'm filming. We're just about up there. Maybe another minute or so, minute or two. So like I said, it's fairly well defined most of the way through here. Can't really miss where the trail is at. And it's beaten in. Now, the part we're on now is newer, and this really wasn't part of the bike trail. So the bike trail kind of went off that way, across that way, and there were no houses or anything in the way back there. They built a subdivision, I want to say in the 80s. Yeah, probably the 80s. And basically that subdivision cut off the trail from one end to the other. It was basically in the middle of the trail, so it severed the trail in half, and that was the end of the Alicia Trail. Now, I really don't think that there's any kind of documented information on what we called the Alicia Trail. That was just what it was known when we were kids, because of the street that it started on. So if you went to Alicia Road and went to the end of that, that's where the trail started. So the head of the trail was, the name of the trail was Alicia Trails. And honestly, it could have started in the 60s. I don't have any idea when it actually started, but I'm gonna have to take off some time for slowing down here, but we're pretty much to the head of the trail again. Nice little, I would say 5 or 10 minute walk, or whatever it is, depending on how you want to pace it. I've been walking pretty average, not fast or slow, just steady pace. So we're back at the top of the trail, and I need to kind of protect people's privacy a little bit, because I'm not here to get in anybody's business, but we're coming up by houses, and I don't really want to show that. But anyway, looking out that way, you can see a vehicle passing by there. So that's a good example. So this is the trailhead right here, starting right here. And this land goes up to Hudson Road. So that's this end of the trail. And I started kind of at the other end of the trail. A lot of stuff has been knocked down up here on this portion up here. And I guess it's going to continue. I mean, this has opened up quite a bit Like almost all this stuff that's knocked down has been done by people recently on a project to clear some of this stuff. So you can tell it's all, none of that is natural. It's all fresh cut stuff. And the thing is, leave the trees and get rid of the honeysuckle for, I would say, 99% of this stuff. 95, I would say. There's vines, there's grapevines, there's other things that you don't want in here, but the biggest one being honeysuckle. It's just a really, I guess it is invasive, but basically, if you don't do anything on the property, that stuff just kind of grows everywhere. I don't know so much that it spreads really quickly. It's like a really, really hard wood. To me it is anyway. I don't know really that it, quote, spreads that quickly. I just know it grows and finds all kinds of nooks and crannies to get up into. It's not like a straight plant, it just goes everywhere where the sun is at. It's another big pile right there. Now I'm assuming that these are not burn piles, but they very well could be. So I would not rule that out. However, that will have to be the officials that do that. Burning wood back here. I don't think anybody else is really allowed to. And right now, my biggest reason for getting this filmed today is because another 2 or 3 weeks you won't be able to see way down there, because all these things will be just green and full of leaves, and everything greens over in a couple weeks. So just you can kind of look at these little nubs on this plant right here. These little nubs and stuff are coming out. It's getting ready to pop. And it's a good thing. We are just now literally turning a corner. We're getting ready to change the daylight savings time, and it's right about now that everything kind of changes over. Right now also, I would say that our winter was mostly mild. We've had some really cold stuff, but over the average of this past winter, I'd say the temperatures were recently relatively mild. I don't think it's actually the spring yet, and it's probably 55 out here. And this week coming up, it looks like it's going to be like 75 or 80. And that would be the first time this year that it is that. It's only March and it's 80 degrees. I don't really like that, but you can count on that happening in St. Louis. So here is a burn pile that was intentional. So it may be that some of these piles are going to be burned up in this pile here. All right, so I'm going to go back to the beginning here. I still got some film. I don't really know there's anything else I can really show, but that's the trail. I'm headed backwards now. I don't really have anything else new and interesting about it. I kind of told the history that, this actually, I don't think I'm exactly on that property, but I think I am. Actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, so we're in an area called, I believe it's called Wild Cherry Ridge. So this was a preserved area for obviously decades, and what I found was that nobody really used it. I mean, a couple of people dumped things here. There's a lot of concrete that's broken up and dumped here, and I don't really know what that's about, if that was the city doing it or who it was, but this place wasn't used. But this place called Wild Cherry Ridge, I believe, probably on the map somewhere, probably not Google, but there's a lot of cherry trees back here. That's a good example right there. There's another one. There's a whole lot of those. There's another one there. Those dark colored trees are cherry trees. That one too. And I mean, I could look around and look at 20 that we're standing right next to right now. We've got cottonwoods, like I said, oak, walnuts, elm, northern elm. We don't have green needles. That's the one thing you won't see out here in this old growth forest is needles, green needles. So that's why nothing is green over the winter. I can see right through there, just next to that tree right there, I'm seeing some green leaves pop up on those. Maybe not honeysuckle, but yeah, honeysuckles. So they're getting good sunlight through there apparently, but yep, everything's getting ready to pop really soon. So this is a pretty obvious part. There's a part down here I'm not really sure that I'm gonna have to do something to get my tractor through here, obviously, if I want to clean up the trash. I know there's some places around here that are off the beaten path that I wanted to get to concerning trash also. It's a piece of aluminum siding or something, gutter soffit, I'm not really sure. Grab something like that when we're cleaning up the trash. And as far as wildlife goes, in our park, across this one road, which is connected kind of except for the road, there are coyotes, deer, fox, obviously a lot of squirrels, a lot of rabbits. We have an owl that lives on the disc golf course. There are a ton of red-tailed hawks around here. We have eagles come around from the river being kind of close. Falcons are common. Frogs, toads. Now back here there might be actually some turtles, but turtles, when I was little, I saw them in my town, and as time went on, turtles really dropped off really quickly. Didn't find them much anymore. It used to be you could go out and just find a box turtle in your yard or somewhere in the area. But apparently our ecosystem doesn't support it much anymore. This is a different story right here, but I would suspect there's some turtles back here, but I don't know. So this is an area here that we're off the trail actually, but I wanted to show this. Some of this tree is being cut up here. All fresh sawdust. That's a big cherry tree. It's kind of a, well, I can tell you all kinds of stuff about it, but yeah, that's a big cherry tree that's just been cut down a little bit to let it drop on the ground. And then it'll take 15 or 20 years to really absorb into the ground and let that tree become food for other trees. I think it's called flora and fauna. Basically becomes an ecosystem booster. Get all kinds of bugs and insects in there. Sorry, I'm gonna go this way. So this, I'm starting to come up to the area. This is the area where I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do something about getting my tractor through here. I feel like we're good so far, but we start closing up here in the hill. Will obviously be an issue, but my tractors are made for that, so I'm not really worried about the hill. The steep ones and funny angle ones maybe, but still pretty good so far. But yeah, that's why I have these Bolins, is to get through these wooded areas. And typically you'd want something like a four-wheeler maybe, but I'm not really trying to do four-wheeler stuff. I'm trying to do tractor stuff. So far so good. I've got some stumps obviously that I have to watch for, but all this is tractable so far. It's when we get up here that it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of work to get through here, or choose an alternate route up there or something. I really don't want to do any cutting and stuff like that. That's not my thing. I don't want to just, well, this wouldn't matter, but basically what I would need to do is I'd need to probably go through that way and just cut this corner off of my route right here. And that looks possible because it's just a broken limb down. It's not a tree that's planted. I could definitely get through there pretty easily. Come through here. These roots, they're kind of a thing, but not really. Got mushrooms. It's really common. I'm sorry. Probably can't see them very. Yep, they're right there. Got some mushrooms growing. We have a lot of chicken of the woods mushrooms, which is edible. I'm not going to tell anybody about what mushrooms they should or shouldn't eat because I'm not that guy. So far, so good. It's getting tight. I feel like we're still close here, but I could do it. Get here to this corner. I could definitely navigate this corner. If I'm pulling 2 trailers, that would be something where I'd probably have to stop, and yeah, that might be an issue. So I might have to go through Caddy Corner or something here to cut off this corner. This trail really isn't that long, but it would be really nice to have it open back up and get some foot traffic on it and get use of this land. It's really the biggest thing is getting it used. So here is the real transition that I would say that for a tractor, this is what I would call the edge of the ridge, and this is going to be where the issue comes along as far as navigating this ridge, and this is kind of the very top edge of it. So my thought, let me see, I might have to do something more like a less slope. So I'm wondering maybe through this area through here, this one's already done. There might be some area through here where I could go. This is kind of not bad. If I could go down along here and then maybe take a right to get back to level or get back to the trail area. This would be much more practical to go down here, stay kind of level. See a blue tarp back there that needs to be gone. Yeah, this is not a good area, but kind of opens up over here a little bit. Here we got stuff. More stuff over that way. Definitely plenty of trash over here. There's an old barbecue pit that used to be in the park. That's the base and then the top one on that. And I'm pretty sure there's more of that barbecue pit around here somewhere that I saw. But we had ours replaced some years ago at our park. After asking for many, many years, we did finally get one replaced. I saw these tires earlier. Actually, I guess I did flip it over. I was going to say, I thought I saw writing on it before. Yeah, I did. So those are some old tires, and that kind of, that style and those labels and everything will tell you how old that is, which is pretty darn old. I wish that I had, let me see if I do. I don't think I do, but if I had a tape measure, that would be amazing. I don't think I do. Nope. Let's see what I got. All right. I think I'm going to run out of film or battery soon. I'm getting a little flashing thing on my screen. So center to center there. This is, I mean, I want to say 70s. In fact, I mean, some of these tires, we used to put spikes in them on the road for winterizing the vehicle. Got all kinds of stuff here that's not really identifiable. All right, so looks like we got that one spot. I need to go back up there and navigate that one area up there where it just doesn't seem like it's gonna work out really well for me. And I have to admit I'm a little bit lost. Not that I can't find my way back. I believe we gotta go over this way, yeah. So this is, I mean, it's not that I can't go this way. I believe I can and make my way this way. We'll take an alternate route. It's another way through, I guess. I don't really think I don't think this pathway comes to a head though. I think we just have to make our way through some woods. Excuse me. So I walk the park, not this specific one, I walk the park on mornings sometime just for exercise, health, and this would be something I would definitely do, and even, you know, even maintain it, like just keep the trash cleaned up and stuff like that. I'm gonna make my way through the woods here. I might lose the camera soon, but we'll see what happens. If I can get back to the trail, that would be good. And once I get back to the trail, we're almost to the trailhead anyway. Now, you can see these honeysuckles are blooming. So it's about that time. I'm going to go back up to the cliff. One thing I will say is, one of the reasons I'd really like to get this cleared out now is because our park isn't really known for ticks and chiggers, but I really suspect that this area over here is not like that area over there. Let's see, so that's the ridge. Let's see. I mean, I think I can shortcut it this way. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll say I can shortcut it this way, or I can go back to the trail. I'll just go this way. The trail is to the right, I believe. And this is more trash. And back to the trail. Now this trail goes back down where I started. Goes back this way a little bit. There's a little trail and a little spot down there, kind of like a picnic area I would call it, but also that's the archery range, so you don't really want to go down there necessarily. The archery range isn't really busy, but some people do use it, so you have to be careful about walking this way. And there's signage all around here. It's kind of overgrown, but there's all kinds of signage that says caution, shooting range or something, archery range. I'll try to find one of those signs and show. There's a bunch of them around, but this place is so overgrown and untouched that you could probably walk right by one and not see it. But I mean, if you're back in this area anyway, most people that would be back in this area would know at least something about it and know not to go there.